I think there's kind of a tipping point that we've reached where, and I think you alluded to it, where not only is religion kind of pushed to the side, there's a contempt toward religion that is new. They will arrest people much more passionately if they are religious. So, for example, the people who are protesting in front of an abortion clinic, even though they might be 200 yards away and they're not interfering with anybody, they're simply posting a sign, they go to jail. Whereas if you protest and smash windows at a BLM riot, a so-called protest, well, then you were just protesting. It was a free speech. It's all good. And insurance will take care of everything. Likewise, we saw that with the COVID shutdown, how they treated churches,
Yes.
and said that you can't keep them open, but strip joints were fine. I mean, that was, to me, that was an essential business somehow, compared to what churches offer. Whereas you and I believe that spirituality is the ultimate essential service. So that's what we're facing. And your question is, are we getting back to more of a sense of God? And I think we are. I think President Trump, I should say, is very appreciative of Christianity and Judaism.
Yes.
That is the reason why he supports Israel so well. That's why he meets with Orthodox Jews and evangelical Christians and considers them very big friends and supports them in legislation and otherwise. I think he gets it. I think he's gotten God in his life, in the past decade or so. I think that God is watching over him. I think God has had a hand in this recent election, helping people understand that this is an important country, and what America does is essential for the success of civilization and God's role in it. He's not about to abandon us, and I think that's very much a part of the reason why God, I think, helped in the election. Call me crazy about that, but I think there's too many factors involved, too many currents against Trump, and somehow he survived them all. It's really a delightful turnabout, and I think that's the fight that we ultimately have: godlessness versus God.
I'm just going to throw in, to me, I agree with every single word you've just said. The election showed that God still believes us worthy of his intervention in keeping us here. But also, to me, the date that will stand out for me forever is July 13th, the day of the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt. And on that
Yes,
day is when I knew we were going to be okay in November. I literally had zero concern at that point. We were shown, and I believe President Trump also knew in that moment, he said as much. He was saved on that day in order to make America great
yeah,
again.
that's
And
right.
so he really did take on the position of and the burden of him doing the things that he needs to do, because that burden was laid on his shoulders in the most extraordinary visible way. And I remember thinking, we just saw a miracle. We just were witness to a miracle, and it's an extraordinary thing. And it is God versus godlessness, and the left seems to cling to godlessness. And in large part, I think what we see when we see people being red pilled or coming over, in large part, they are also taking on a recognition that one needs God in one's life.